Oh, let me close my closet. All right, guys. So, welcome to, I don't even know what day it is. It's only been like a couple days. Anyways, welcome to the color grading episode of CapCut. So, without further ado, let's just get straight into it. I don't got that much time. I'm leaving in like 12 minutes to go to the gym. So, hopefully, we can get through with this as quickly as possible while giving you guys everything that you need. So, you guys see, we fixed everything. So all the clips are working now. I do just need to, oh, never mind. Everything is working now, which is great to hear. That is just perfect. So why is there like a random blip here? What the fuck? Oh, so we have all of this, right? This is what our video looks like. And let's go into color grading. So let's start with color grading for iPhone. So this is iPhone footage right here. So all you're gonna do is you're gonna go to your adjustments tab up top here. And first I'm gonna show you guys how to import my LUT. And then use that. But before we even get to that, every single video that you make, every single clip need a basic adjustment. So what is that? Those are white balance, contrast, shadows, and highlights. And all those things that you need to do is you need to go through and do these things first. Why? Because you want to have a good base, a good base video before you even start adding color. Yes, the color is like an important part, but if you don't have a good base, then it's not going to look great. It's the same thing as building a house. If you have a good base, if it's stuck into the ground really well, then your house is going to hold really well. So this applies to not only log footage, or Apple log footage or Sony log footage, but also like iPhone footage. But for the most part, what you're going to want to do is you actually want to open up your graph. So how do you do that? You go to these three lines right here, color oscilloscopes, and you want to do show. Actually, let me move me around so you guys can actually see. I'll move myself to the left so you guys can see. There we go. All right. So this is our scopes. We have our scopes here. And what are this one? These literally tell us if our video is overexposed, underexposed. This gives us everything that we need to know. And this left one right here, this just tells us how balanced the red, green, and blues are, because that's what RGB stands for, is red, green, blue. This middle one, this tells us basically our exposure level, and then it also does tell us like our color like balance as well. This one right here, this pie chart, this is what's going to help us get perfect skin tones. Now, if you see this line here, this is actually going to be where we can actually find and know if our skin tones are perfect. So first we're going to go ahead and we are going to adjustments. We're going to click adjustments, make sure your video is selected. And from here, we're not using a LUT yet. From here, now there are a bunch of pro things you can use. And you can use adjust, auto adjust. I'm not going to use that because we are going to do this all by manual. And we don't want to use color match at all. Color correction, we don't want to use that at all because we can do this ourselves just by looking at the graph. And I do not have pro version. But as you see here, looks like our reds are a little bit too much. Our greens and our blues are lacking. So what are we going to do? We're going to add some blues. And basically, all you're trying to do is balance out as much as possible. And if you just look now, basic adjustments is you're just looking at the video and you're seeing, does this white part look like actual white? Now it does not. It looks a little bit too blue, which means we need to lower the blues. This one looks a little bit too green as well, so we need to lower the greens. And you need to find a good way to see what is a good white. And let's see, it is like an eyeball type thing that you do, unfortunately. But this looks as close as it's going to get to a white. And you're just playing with the temperature and the tint. That's how you basically get good color. Now, we're going to look at saturation. Now, you can increase the saturation significantly or you can decrease it. Me, since it is iPhone footage, I'm going to increase it just slightly. All right. From here, now, one thing to also note, we're going to talk about this middle graph here. This top line, 1023, represents whites. The bottom line, 0, represents blacks. Now, you want a good sort of spread between those without anything touching the 0. Now, if you have parts of this graph hitting the 1023, that's okay because sometimes lights actually do that, and it will just mean that you're losing detail within those lights, which is perfectly fine because we want the lights to be sort of bright. But we don't want a whole bunch touching the 0 part, which means we're losing a whole bunch of detail in our blacks. So what are we going to do? First, what I like to do is just increase the contrast, so that will spread out our video significantly. Then from there, looks like our highlights, I'm going to actually increase the whites a little bit so that our lights are a little bit more, we lose a little bit more detail in the lights. That gives us a little brighter lights. Highlights are going to be those brighter areas of the video. I'm going to increase them slightly. Shadows. Now, I like a darker aesthetic, so I usually decrease the shadows significantly. But if you see here, we have a whole bunch touching this 0 line. So all we're going to do is just increase the blacks by 2. Therefore, we're making sure that nothing is hitting the blacks and it looks okay. We're not getting any of like that noise that comes with detail that's being missed in the blacks. So this is a good base video, right? From here, you can do a few different things. You can do sharpen. I'm not going to use this at all. Clarity. This will make your video a little bit more, basically dehazes it. So it kind of looks a little bit washed out. So if you add this, it'll look a little bit less washed out. Particles, this will give you that grainy look. We're not using that at all. Fade. You can do this a white fade or a black fade. I'm not using that at all. And the vignette is basically just making a sort of portrait type video. I'm not going to use that either. So the only one that I really am going to use is the clarity and maybe just a little bit of sharpening. From here, what are we looking for? Now, let's add some color. Now, there's a few ways you can add color. You can either add my LUT, which I'm going to show you guys how to do. And I think I'll have a link in the description for the zip file. You guys can have my blue cinematic LUT. But what you're going to do is you're going to basically, so in your adjustments tabs up here, you have LUT. Now you can import the LUT, and all you're going to do is go to import, and you're going to choose my blue Criekki Blue .cube file and open it. I already have it in here, so no big deal if we use it. It's already in here, right? So when we click it on our video and we turn on the LUT tab, all we're going to do is use this blue cube LUT, and as you see, it will give us that blue aesthetic. And that's with that. That's one way to use this. And if you want to protect your skin tones, make sure that you turn this on as well. It will make sure your skin tones are perfect every single time. Yeah. That's how you use my LUT. Now, if we weren't going to use a LUT and we just wanted to make our own color, what do we want to do? We want to add an adjustment layer. So an adjustment layer basically allows us to just have this color not affect our actual video, but everything that's underneath here, as I said, layers. So in this adjustment layer, all we're going to do is we're going to go to our, now on the pro version, this is how I would do it. I would actually go to the color wheel. Now the color wheel is actually a pro feature, I believe. But if you don't have the pro feature, I'll show you how to do that as well. If you do have pro, this is what I would do. I'm just going to change the shadows and the tint respectively of how I will like it. So shadows, I'm going to make a little bit blue. In our middle gray, I'm going to make it blue as well. Tint. Can make it a green tint. Orange. Going to make it blue. Then on offset, that will just help make the colors not so vibrant. And that's what it's gonna give us. Now, this is a tough video to sort of color grade because it is outdoors and the colors that are already there. But that is how I would do this if you're using the color wheel. If you're not using the color wheel, all I'm going to do is go to our HLS secondary, and I'm going to go through this, and I'm just going to, hold on. No, I'm going to go to the curves, right? And this is where we can change the red, green, and blue. And this will change. You'll see this, basically. This will change respectively. And you're just going to, for me, all I'm going to do is drag what I want to change. Now, this will make our reds less significant. And we want our blues to pop a little bit more. And that's basically what it looks like. And then from here, you can go to your blues and you can increase this saturation slightly. But that's how you're going to, let's do a little bit better job. The blues. Now, these are going to be your shadows. These are your midtones and your highlights. So we want our highlights to be a lot more blue. We want our midtones to be a lot more blue as well. And then we want our shadows to be more blue as well. Now, this looks a little bit purplish to me, so I'm going to move back a little bit more, and I'm going to increase some green in there, incorporate some green. So that'll give us a more bluish look. Again, this is a horrible example. I'll go to the next one and show you. But that's how you would do it, since the color wheel is a pro feature. Now, let's go ahead and let's drag this over our next clip, which is a little bit better to see. Now, as you see, it's a little bit more blue, but we haven't done basic adjustment. So let me hide this real quick. Make sure we do our basic adjustments first, which is, again, we're going to look at our graphs. Now it looks like we need a little bit more blue. We kind of want these to be level when we are using this. So that's that. Increase the contrast. Highlights. I want highlights to be down significantly, and I want my shadows to be down significantly. And then my blacks, I'm going to press 2. Make sure we don't have anything touching there. And clarity, I'm going to increase the clarity slightly and sharpen it a bit. I'm actually going to decrease the highlights even more. This is a good base video. Then when we turn this back on, look at that. It looked blue. And we can go back here, and this look, like I said, this looks a little bit weird. We'll go to this to our curves, and we'll just fix it slightly. There we go. It's not as red anymore. This is like kind of like a bluish teal, but this looks good to me. And for me, I kind of like an even darker video. And since we already went through and clicked on our video and then went to the basic adjustments, all we're going to do, add another adjustment later. Add another one, place it above our clip that we have. And what am I going to do? All I'm going to do is I'm going to decrease the shadows even more. That'll give us that nice dark look. From here, I actually am going to increase the blacks by 1. And highlights could be down a little bit more too. And there we go. That is a nice blue cinematic look. Now, like I said again, if you wanted to just use my LUT, all you got to do here is just go click on your video, make sure this LUT part is selected, and then select my Criekki Blue Cinematic LUT, and that's what you'll get. And then we can actually add our darker shadows, and that's what it will give us. So that's my blue cinematic LUT. But if you don't want to do that, we'll just turn this off. You can create your own LUT here, and just make sure you shut this off. So really, it's up to you and what you're looking for. Quickly, I'm going to show you guys LUT footage. So this is if you're filming an Apple log or a Sony log. Now, if you're an Apple log and you're using the Blackmagic camera app, make sure you are filming your videos with that Apple log to Rec 709 LUT. I showed you guys how to do that in the Blackmagic camera app. If you don't do that, you just have to convert your footage. So what are we doing when we're converting our footage? We're just basically converting our log footage. So log footage is very dull, and there's a reason why we do that, because it preserves our highlight and our shadows significantly. And we film in log because we're able to keep those details in there while also having a very good video. So what you're going to have to actually do is you're going to have to convert your log footage to Rec 709. Rec 709 is regular footage. That is footage that we just see on the daily from our phones. So to do that, all you got to do is just go to your LUT here, and you're just going to, again, you just have to find this on the internet. They're all for free, but you're just going to add the S-Log2 because I film an S-Log2, so your S-Log to Rec 709 LUT. As you see, that will change our video from log to Rec 709. From there, again, we're going to go here. This looks like it has a little bit too much blue, so we're going to decrease the amount of blue that it has. And then increase the contrast, decrease the shadows, decrease the shadows, and I like to decrease the highlights slightly. And for this one, I don't have to increase the blacks because it's already filmed in log, so it already preserves all that nice footage. And then again, we'll go here and we'll drag our LUT that we made. But as you see here, our skin tones are not perfect, right? So this is why you need to have a good sort of video, a good color, and then from there, we got to fix our skin tone. So how do we do that? That's how we use this line. So all you're going to do is go to your HLS secondary, and you're just going to make it so that it lines up kind of more perfectly with this line. So any colors that are being used kind of aligns perfectly with this line. Now I know it's not on there, but what you do have is you need to make sure that it is sort of in line with that. So you're just going to go color by color and just make sure that these lines are as close as they can be to that footage. And we'll increase saturation slightly. Now this looks a little bit too much green, so I'll decrease some of the green. All right, our blues. Keep our blues actually same. Yeah. Purple. Keep it there. And then our pink. So look at the skin tones. These skin tones look a little bit too much green. So we're just going to decrease the saturation of green. And then yellow, we're going to make it a little less green. We're going to make it a little bit more orange. Then from here, same thing. And then red. And there we go. That gives us better skin tones. If we turn this off, look at our skin tones. Our skin tones do not look good. If we turn it on, it looks better. Yes, it is still a little bit green. From there, I'm going to decrease the saturation even more. Hopefully that'll help. But yeah, that will give us perfect skin tone. Now, it's not perfect. Like I said, this is really why I don't use CapCut, because there's not this dropper tool that you can map out all the skin tones. And then from there, color grade around it, but this is what you have to do. So basically, you make your color grade, have a good video where your skin tones are being shown, and then from there, go ahead and just try to align the colors that do fit into this top left pie, and make sure those colors align with this line. And you'll notice, and you'll have to just eyeball it again, but you'll have to eyeball the skin tones again, but this line represents perfect skin tones no matter what skin tone that you have. So that's color grading that's color grading. That's how you color grade on CapCut. I know it's not as in-depth as DaVinci Resolve or Premiere Pro. That's why I don't use this at all, but you can still color grade really well on here, and I've seen a lot of people do it. So that's how you color grade. I hope this helps, and then from there, we'll get into the next tutorial. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.